Welcome, friends and foes, survivors and killers. Let's sit around the campfire together and talk about Dead by Daylight, specifically the 6.5.0 mid-chapter PTB, and a very strange twins bug that sparked an interesting conversation about bugs in Dead by Daylight and the role behaviour has in fixing them. The mid-chapter PTB has landed, and everyone's abuzz talking about the changes. The update to Eyrie of Crows is the rare case of a DBD map being improved by actually making it better to play on, instead of adding weird tiles that were designed by a 9-year-old on Roblox. Nobody's sure if the nurse nerfs are actually a nurse nerf or if the night buffs are actually a night buff, and the solo queue info improvement system has finally arrived in place of the finisher Mori and base kit Unbreakable. Thank God for that. These are all really interesting topics, but I'm going to leave them to other people. I don't play Nurse basically at all anymore, at least not since the Fire Nation attacked. I've maybe played single-digit night games since he came out, so I don't have a clue what I'm doing with him either. And while the Eyrie and HUD changes are undoubtedly great, I don't have anything in particular to say about them beyond that. What interests me about this particular PTB, however, is something that really shouldn't surprise anybody at this point. Yes, twins are bugged again. And this time it's a doozy. On the PTB right now, switching to Charlotte from Victor gives you full control over Charlotte's movement instantly, including moving at full speed and allowing you to perform all actions Charlotte could normally perform, like attack, break pallets, pick survivors up, and even switch back to Victor again during Charlotte's wake up animation. This makes twins feel so much smoother to play. One of the biggest reasons that nobody plays this killer is because the fatigues you have to sit through artificially make twins clunkier and less efficient, just because fuck you for playing them, I guess. These fatigues make them more inclined to slug, so you don't have to sit through so many tedious and time-consuming wake-up fatigues and cooldowns. It makes playing them feel worse, and it's part of what makes the twins so vulnerable to perks like We're Gonna Live Forever and especially Power Struggle. This bug does not entirely fix that, but it makes it so much better and makes the twins feel a lot smoother to play. It's actually very similar to how twins work normally on DBD Mobile. As soon as you leave control of Victor, you move at full speed without needing to sit through a tedious wake up. I cannot tell you how much the 3 twins played on planet Earth lost their collective shit when this got discovered on the PTB. My mentions blew up, and I need to test this out for myself. And my feedback is the same as everybody else's. It feels great to play with. Whoa, baby! Look at that! So great, in fact, that a lot of players I know, not just twins players but a good spectrum of killer and Sire players alike, want to see this unintended mechanic become, well, an intended mechanic. And that's what this video is going to be talking about. The possibility that this could actually happen, the potential ramifications of this bug in some form being an intended feature that makes it alive, and the role behaviour plays in fixing or not fixing killer bugs, especially with regards to the twins. So, where did this bug come from? Well, in case you've not really been around this past 6 to 8 weeks, can't blame you, I haven't been either. Twins have been affected by a game-breaking bug when trying to switch between Charlotte and Victor, locks you in the switch animation and eventually gets Charlotte stuck permanently, forcing the killer to DC unless the other side ends the match for them. This bug has been an issue since at least early December now, and behaviour drew a fair bit of flack for not fixing it before the Christmas break, meaning we had to deal with twins being potentially unplayably buggy for several weeks. The upcoming mid-chapter was supposed to launch a fix for this very, very bad bug, and in true behaviour fashion, the fix turned out to just be plastering that caused another bug. And that's the society we're living in right now. A rare situation of a twins bug that actually benefits the person playing them. And it isn't like, say, that Sadako bug where she could phase into people from unhooking by manifesting in front of hooks. This is the kind of thing twins players have been asking for ages. Linksy and I have both given suggestions as to how we'd rework the twins in light of the upcoming rework. And while we both play twins very differently and enjoy different aspects of their kit, we agree that the massive enforced downtime is catastrophically bad for twins and should be something a rework addresses. But we've got a bug right here that actually does something to addressing that problem. If this bug was kept in as intended mechanic, then I guarantee twins would be more popular. Something that rework is ostensibly trying to do, and with the twins at by far the lowest pick rate in the game, would be an excellent PR win for behaviour. What could the potential issues be for letting this feature hit live servers? The only issue I'm really seeing here is the ability to attack or switch back to Victor out of the wake of animation instantly, which makes Charlotte being used in a tile alongside Victor really obnoxious, and especially makes her really good at camping slugs, since you can instantly switch to Charlotte to hit someone trying to pick your slug up before the survivor on the ground can go from 85% to 100% recovered. That's just kind of fucked, and something twins don't need to be able to do. However, this problem does not apply to other actions twins can do out of a switch. If Charlotte can't instantly attack out of her wake-up animation, what's the harm in letting her move at full speed, pick up survivors, or break pallets or walls instantly? I'm not being rhetorical here. If anyone can think of why this could be an issue, I'd love to hear it, because letting the killer pick up survivors faster benefits everyone. If you don't want twins slugging so aggressively, a good place to start is making picking up less of a gigantic laborious time sink. Peanuts has all but confirmed that the twins rework is going to be a big one, and he said that we should be patient for when it does eventually come. But it's been pretty much exactly a year since the twins rework got announced, and we've heard absolutely nothing about it from the devs whatsoever. Between the Nurse Night and Eerie changes, we know it's not coming in this mid-chapter, but it could come soon. And when it does come, it'll likely be a more transformative rework in the vein of, Freddy, as opposed to any of the actually good reworks like Bubba or Legion. With this in mind, what do we really have to lose from keeping this bug in the game in some capacity? Like, let's be completely honest here, nobody plays this killer anyway. Without attacking out of fatigue, it's really just a quality of life feature that makes them feel a bit smoother. And the twins as we know them are probably going to get reworked out of existence anyway, in the not too distant future. So what does it really matter if we get to have a bit more fun with a killer who's basically going to get deleted in 6-ish months regardless? But you know what? Say I'm wrong. Say the worst case scenario does happen and making twin switch a little bit faster and have a bit less clunkiness somehow breaks DBD in half. Unlike Nurse now having 7 blinks, which might actually break the game and has an infinitely higher chance of making it to live servers intact than this fractionally beneficial twins bug. If this change really does cause problems, then the kill switch exists for a reason. I'm not saying don't work on a fix. Hell, there's probably already one being worked on as we speak. I'm saying maybe you can hold off on implementing it for a bit. Maybe stop attacking and switching out of fatigue, but you can keep everything else and see where the chips fall. And implement the fix a little later after a brief kill switch if it turns out to cause problems. Nobody plays twins anyway. Hell, even if this was somehow a problem, realistically how many matches would actually be played before a kill switch could be deployed? Removing the instant switch completely because you're worried about it breaking twins and ruining everyone's matches is like never going outside because of a risk a bird might shit in your mouth and you choke to death on it. Sure, it would definitely be bad and could hypothetically happen, but is it really going to happen often enough to be an actual issue? But truth be told, I don't think any of this thought vomit that's constituted this whole video is enough to influence behaviour's minds when it comes to fixing this bug. Because I'm almost certain that for all my complicated conjecture, the response is going to be fairly simple. It's a bug, it's not intended, so we're getting rid of it. This isn't a new mentality. It's what happened to Skybilly and J-Flicks and other texts and tricks that killers and survivors, including twins themselves, have gradually lost over the years. It's not intended, so it's gotta go. If this is the response behaviour are gonna give, and we have no reason to believe it isn't gonna be, there's not really much that we can say to that. Except, I have a question for anyone on the development team who's adamant that this bug should be fixed so that twins work as intended. When did twins working as they're supposed to suddenly become such a high priority for you guys? Next up, let's resolve the situation by downing Meg again. What was that? Did you see that? Did you observe? Did you notice the fuckery that just occurred? It's no secret that twins are hilariously buggy and always have been. And it's not even like old bugs get replaced by new bugs, at least not all the time. There are tons of twins bugs that have been around for a year or more, and at least one that's been around literally since their first PTB back in November 2020. Ever since the first Resident Evil chapter, Victor has phased through survivors' backs if he bounces too close to them, slides off them sometimes, dies in random locations he shouldn't be dying in, and occasionally gets stuck in the floor. Something that happened all the time back on their first ever PTB and still happens to this day sometimes. Hell, the literal game-breaking your killer might just hardlock you into place bug has taken over a month to fix. Keeping twins in functional working order has now been behaviour's priority. So, why start now? When the bug happens to significantly improve the killer experience at negligible or no cost to the survivors whatsoever. It's become clear to me over the past couple of years that twins being in proper working order is too much to ask of behaviour and always has been. Maybe that's why they're getting reworked, simply because they're too hard to maintain because of how technically complex they are. If the instant switch bug has to go, then so be it. But if it does get fixed, it had better not be the only twins fix we see. I want to see the collision issues fixed. I want to see Victor's height detection fixed. I want to see blood trails on stairs to be visible again, so you can chase upstairs without Victor losing the survivor. Assuming a zero tolerance policy on bugs, these are issues that are just as important as fixing the instant wake up bug, probably more so because they've been around so much longer. You can't just fix the beneficial bug and not fix the laundry list of detrimental bugs that have been around for a year or more. Either all of it's okay, or none of it's okay. Given behaviour's track record of not fixing twins bugs, it led me to believe that all of it's okay, and twins are basically unfixable without a rework, meaning that this bug would get to stay. But we all know this isn't making it to live regardless of what I say. So what's the point I'm getting it? At the end of the day, I just want my favourite killer to function properly to the best of their capacity. And right now, they just don't. They are buggy and slow, and fold in half like a paper towel if someone whispers, "We're gonna live forever," in their general direction. And despite this PTB change being an unintended bug, it actually makes the twins function far better than they currently do, especially because of these several unfixed negative bugs that have affected them for years. If behaviour committing to making twins work properly and consistently meant fixing all their bugs, not just the beneficial ones, that's fine. And if behaviour listened to community feedback about how good this feels and left things more or less the way they are, that's fine too. And only time will tell if we ever get it. I guess we're at the mercy of behaviour on this one, which historically for twins players isn't the best sign. Well, that's everything I have to say about the brand new twins bug and whether it should stick around or not. Do you think the bug should stay? Do you think the bug should go? Do you think it could be modified a little bit like I do? Whatever you have to say, leave your comments and I will definitely read them. And while you're there, do subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. My upcoming video on Evil Dead 2 has been blocked by the YouTube copyright system. I'm just waiting for manual appeal, so fingers crossed that'll be out this week. And before I go, for anybody who's interested, I had a lovely chat about horror and DBD and Magic the Gathering and all sorts of fun stuff with phenomenal DBD icon artist and concept team member Wheatraws. It's not really an interview per se, it's just two friends shooting the shit for 3 hours, and if you're interested in having a listen, the link to that is in the description. There's even some teasers of future videos. And until then, I guess, stay safe, and I'll see you around. Ta-ta for now.